Three, two, one. Oops.
Yo, this is Tay Motivates.
This is awesum.malik, and this is Elevated Thought. So let's try to elevate your mind a little bit. So what you got,
Let's
man?
elevate life.
What
What's
you
up,
got?
bro? I got a lot. First off, how about the Falcons, bro?
We got lost to the Cowboys by 1 point. Now 1 point. Woo! That threw it off a little bit. That hurt my heart a little bit.
I didn't really watch the game, but I caught the last. I seen the score. The Falcons was definitely up, and then I seen the last. I seen like the end of the game score, and I seen they lost by 1, and like how they lost that lead. I was just like, wow.
If you saw that
It's hard to have faith in them.
that
I didn't
last
see
drive
nothing.
that they had, it was ridiculous. So it was an onside kick, and Cowboys recovered the onside kick and literally drove it down the field, kicked the field goal, and won the game.
Jeez, bro. Jeez. But yeah, man. I kind of wanted to talk about just to get our perspectives on, what is actually considered weirdness and, well, not even actually being weird, but embracing your weirdness. And just kind of my thoughts around that is just kind of like, when you kind of look at the term of what is weird, weird is kind of like a behavior that the common person doesn't do. Whether that behavior is a positive or a negative, it really doesn't matter. In either perspective, by going by the definition of the word, is considered weird. And I just want to say, like, I want to kind of be, my perspective is you should encourage people to embrace their positive weirdness habits if they see it, constructing their life. And I just kind of want to wrap on that.
Yeah, so I feel like weirdness is essential to life. I feel like if you think that normal is cool or something like that, then you got something wrong with you. No offense, I don't like to say wrong as a word or anything like that, but I mean there's something off because I feel like normal is too monotonous and routine. It's too like plain bread, It's a little basic. So when it comes to being weird, I feel like it adds flavor into life, and it pretty much has that diversity. It adds a diversity to, character and conversations and attitudes and everything like that. It pretty much brings a different, atmosphere, a different vibe to any situation. And I full-fledged love understanding and, noticing people's weirdness.
Yeah, man, that sounds awesome. If you kind of even look at it, weird would be subjective to the group that you're in. Also, we was talking about society, but society is such a large group that consists of so many, of smaller groups. And someone that could be considered normal that walks into a group to where, is not familiar with where they're coming from, they're going to be considered weird. And like we were saying, whether it's positive or negative traits coming from that. And me personally, bro, I find that I'm the happiest when I'm able. I find that I feel more myself, and I'm actually the happiest when I'm able to like embrace my qualities. Now, when I'm talking about my qualities, I want to say like, I'm somebody who kind of like enjoys, just motivational material. I'm someone who like I'm really focused on growth when it comes to life. And, I go out to the bars and, whether I drink or not, like my whole plan is to think of it as like a celebration for the life that we're living on, and that's a weirdness that, I fucking love,
I think it's weird because of different perspectives. Like when you come to the idea of what's weird and what's not weird, it's more of a perspective thing to where like we were talking about society, right? So society has a flat line of, hey, this is what's considered normal. And if you stray, too far north or too far south of that line, then you could be considered weird. So like most people, if they go to a bar or, something like that, they're going to like chill and, I don't really know because I'm not other people. It's hard for me to figure that out. But like when I go to a bar, I really seek out like conversation because I feel like conversation is like the seed to any blossoming, thought process or, understanding other people's reality. And, when we're talking about discovering that weirdness in other people, you have to be able to have that conversation to plant that seed to understand of their perspective, because everybody only has that one lens that they see through, which is, hey, this is my life and this is my lens. Until you have that conversation or that type of understanding of what's going on, then you don't really ever have, it doesn't mix,
Yeah, I feel you. I guess I'll like go into that with just like what is what is keeping people from being from like going off that path or like going to right or going to left, and is that ultimately a good thing,
I,
is that
I feel like
ultimately
I get what you mean, and I feel like it's like influence. Influence is such a powerful thing, and words are such a powerful thing. But the influence that words and the people that are in your social circle have on you can literally make or break a situation.
we're very
Really
social creatures?
sway exactly to where it can really deviate your path, to where it throws a fork in the road, to where, hey, let's say we're all taking shots or something like that, and it's a colorful shot or something like that. Some people feel like colorful shots or stuff outside the normal or outside what they're used to is weird, you know. And I'm a type of person that, hey, I want to try a little bit of everything. I want to be able to experience everything at least once, as long as they don't kill me, like just about,
Yeah,
because at that point in time, I can't try nothing else. But like, I want to see that. And I feel like the dogma that people have of society, it actually strays that point of view to where, hey, you have these people that's thinking about you, oh, that's wrong or that's weird, or it kind of drives a depression on that curiousness to seek outside your lane,
yeah, it's kind of like opening your mind, having an open mind about just life is, the difference between being closed minded and being open minded. Yeah, I think that's very, very essential in life. For me, I would have to say, is it a positive thing if people, stay on the straight and narrow? I mean, yeah, it's pushed in society to stay normal. When you stay normal, you're doing what everybody else is doing. And when everybody else is doing the same thing, everybody have the same values, everybody have the same core beliefs, you have little riffraff. And
Yeah.
when you have a lot
But
of
I feel
that,
like it's too comfortable though.
it's too comfortable.
That's it's like a comfort zone, because
Yeah,
pretty much what you're saying, normal is that lane of comfort. It's the plateau. It's not the rapids on the left side, but it's like the lazy river that you could just be able to coast by without hitting any rocks or seeing any rusher speeds or like seeing the waterfall. But I feel like if you don't see that type of stuff, then there's a possibility that you would never knew that there was a waterfall that way. You miss the beauty without going through that little rough and tough patch type area.
exactly. But I also feel like it takes a certain type of courage and reliance on, confidence to really embrace, you know, life in that type of aspect. Because if you go into, I mean, numbers speak volumes, like if a
Right.
hundred people are telling me, yes, this is the right answer, and two people are telling me, no, it's not the right answer, me as a human, I'm definitely like, you kind of bet where my
Yeah,
money's
it's
going,
a little skeptical.
but
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
same time, bro, just like there's there's a lot going on in life, and yeah, I definitely agree. But when you're going down certain paths, I feel like your reliance on self, your want and desire, have to be met with an equal ability to be able to find and seek out like relevant and like accurate information about certain topics, because you don't want to be that person that just, embracing it just because it's different. You want to find what fits your lifestyle, what kind of calls
Yeah.
you, and what is your truth? What are you living by?
Like, don't judge a book by its cover. Don't just, attack it because, hey, it looks pretty on the outside. Actually, get the meat and potatoes. See what it really is coming to,
Yeah, you can definitely look up to somebody that's embracing something, and like they might show some qualities that you want to have, like confidence, and you think that's the path to go. But it's all about keeping an open mind. I definitely agree, man.
I feel like that leans a little bit towards mentorship. So I've never really grasped the idea of like mentorship or, understanding like how people have mentors or, why mentors are so relevant. And it wasn't until like, the past year and a half, I started understanding it. You don't have to find somebody that is 100% just like you or 100% what you want to look in because there's nobody that's going to fit that perfect parameter, So you have to find somebody that has decent quality, something that you admire in them, and take that piece, say, oh, that's dope, that's cool, you know what I mean? All right, I'm going to try and emulate that part of the person, not the whole person, a part of that person. And that mixture of flavor and putting those puzzle pieces together kind of develops a person. And I feel like a lot of people developing themselves, taking pieces and parts of that and actually, accomplishing what they feel is them, it kind of creates a truer self. And if they're creating a truer self, and of course, nobody's made different. Everybody's built different. So it's already going to seem weird. It's already going to seem, awkward, obscure,
I feel you. I love to take this time to kind of like talk about truth. We didn't really talk about it, but just when I kind of say truth, it's just like we're talking about where behaviors that's not from the common society, and when we talk about truth, we're talking about something that is facts and not even proven facts, but like the universe has certain truths. Um, for example, I would say, like energy. It's not a hard truth, but people live by their truths basically. Like for instance, is a tree is definitely a tree, right? We as humans see a tree as a tree, but beyond
Yeah.
that conceptualization of a tree truth is what it is. We look at it as a tree, but like this is our perspective. This is the tree, and this is us, my head, and like in between here is where our our conceptualization of what we're looking at is happening. So I want to talk about what is this, how important is it to live in your truth or with truth?
So you're talking about with that medium.
No.
So I kind of want to wait.
Well,
So it's not the medium.
well,
It's not the in between.
not the in between. It was kind of like seeing the truth, the tree for what it is, besides, the in between of, you yourself calling it a tree. Just important to have a grasp. Just opinions.
I think I got a little something for that. So I think I was taking humanities or sociology or something like that. And you ever heard of the allegory of the cave?
Yeah,
The allegory of the cave, and I feel like that
exactly.
that pretty much ties perfectly into that whole perception of truth and what's an illusion.
Hmm.
So we'll back and forth and explain it a little
For
bit for
sure.
like our viewers and everything like that. So what I remember from the allegory of the cave, there was two guys pretty much chained up inside a cave, and for all of their life, and all they saw was the shadows of what was happening outside the cave. And they'll see like a wagon go by, they'll see distorted pictures of people go by or a tree or something like that. And that was the only vision that they remembered is through that shadow. So later on, I have no idea how the guy got
Hmm.
released, but one of the guys ended up getting released, right? He goes outside and it's bright, it hurts his eyes.
Yeah,
He's like real on what's going on, like dazed because he got hit by something, right? So he walks outside the cave and he actually sees all these colors. He was like, I remember that shadow being a tree, but they told me that this is called a tree now. Wow, okay, that's a wagon, and this is grass, and he started getting that knowledge on a lot of that stuff. So he goes back into the cave and talks to the guy that was still chained up there, and he was like, "Wow, it's beautiful out there." You know what I mean? It's so many colors, and you remember that shadow that we saw? It's actually green and brown, and it's called a tree. And the guy is in disbelief, and he's like, "No, you're wrong. That's not it. It can't be, because we literally sat here and we seen it as this is that. We called it this, that the whole time. You know what I mean?" And I feel like what you were talking about is more of the illusion of I wouldn't say enlightenment. I say knowledge. I would say it's knowledge. It's knowing yourself a little bit to be able to see through. We'll say society is that barrier.
Mhm.
That barrier of the shadows, and this is what you see. You have to be able to unshackle yourself to be able to go outside the cave and see, what the world has to offer. To be open minded, like you kept saying before, and to be able to be fully envelop, the environment, to fully envelop the world around you, because it's beautiful out there. He told you it's beautiful outside the cave. There's trees, birds, other green thing on the ground, which is called grass. Like, it's a whole bunch out there, and I feel like we have to get past that first barrier, and that first barrier is leaving the cave. And I kind of want to tie a little bit something else. So I think that leaving the cave kind of ties with kids' independence. So your cave is like where you grew up at, right? Your cave is like your parents' house. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And once you go off to college, once you go off with your friends, you kind of get to see a little bit of the color picture view. You try to see if the grass is a little greener on the other side, and that's what that's what I kind of got from that. Of there's multiple perspectives that you could take from the allegory, but I mean, I feel like that best fits what we were talking about.
Yeah, man, that was awesome. My recalling of it, I think it was kind of based on fear. How like, one of the guys was well, initially they both was kind of scared to leave the cave due to them seeing like scary shadows or whatever, and then
Yep.
one of them actually went out and found out it's nothing to be scared of, and then came back, tried to tell the other person, and he had a hard time really believing him, and and he just lived in his paradise, like and I find that so relevant in life in general. Yeah, like you said, you can find a lot of different perspectives around that one tale, and at times like first off, just to like I read a lot of books on enlightenment, and I read just a lot of books on different topics, and it's a lot of information that's out here that's not really getting pushed in society, which is kind of it's shocking when you understand how multiple people actually benefit from this thing that you have to search out and find from a different outlet. But at the end of the day,
Yeah.
it's just very interesting when you find something that's sort of similar, because if you find something that can like enlighten you, say like meditation, right? Meditation has become actually pretty popular in today's society. And, when you practice it, it really relieves you. For example, I barely stress throughout my day. And if I do stress, it's actually like a really it's a good stress to where I'm trying to push and get through boundaries, and I'm keeping a positive mindset through it and just accepting the challenge. And, you know, and having just something I do for like probably a minute a day, erase a lot of things that I see a lot of people around me are suffering from when it just comes to, getting just being stressed or like having trouble living in the moment. It reminds me of that tale, bro. Like, like it's something very simple, but it's weird, I guess. Like my parents didn't meditate, or what is meditation? It's kind of scary, like like. But yeah, man, it's very interesting. We should actually rip on that topic a little more. But it looks like we're coming up on time, bro. You got anything you want to finish on?
I mean, not really, because if we keep talking, we go into a whole nother podcast and we'll be sitting on here for like another 20, 30 minutes because, being from the South, we got the gift to gab and we like to talk.
Sounds about right, bro. I'll say if you want to hear that next conversation, I think the only option you got is what they got to do.
I mean, you got to follow us, and then if we're on YouTube, you got to subscribe, and then just get our link. Contact us. We'll have our Instagrams. We'll have all our very information right below, and we'll love to hear different topics, constructive criticism. You know what I mean? Negative criticism, just about anything. We just love the vibe. If you throw it at us, we'll probably talk about it. It wouldn't hurt our feelings because we got a little tough skin over here. But we take everything in. It depends on the perspective.
Yeah, man, we'd love to hear.
It depends on.
We'd love to hear from you guys. Thank you for watching. This is Tay Motivate signing out.
And this is awesum.malik, and this is Elevated Thought. So don't forget, tune in, and we'll see you soon.